All right, Cyber Traders, good morning and welcome on back to a brand new week here in the Cyber Group Trading Room this Monday, October 11th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, the audio is good to go. My name is Josh Levitan. For all of us joining on social media today, Facebook Live, YouTube, Fausto is out today, so I'm taking the throne for right now. But just a quick housekeeping note to begin. I'd like to send my apologies for all of us on social media on Friday. There was a huge debacle. I think it was like an Amazon Web Services issue, kind of like what we had from the week before, but I'm a perfectionist at heart. So when I started the afternoon meeting back on Friday, this was just back from the 8th, and I realized that no one was able to hear me. You can imagine that there was nobody more frustrated than myself. So my apologies. I believe that we're good to go across all ends. And without further ado, let me get into the real housekeeping, because there wouldn't have been any other way I would start this meeting off aside from wishing a happy birthday to one of our longest students here at Cyber Trading University. He's been here longer than I've been employed, Grant B, turning a very youthful 83 today. Happy birthday, Grant. I hope you enjoy the day with family. I know that you're heading out of here right around 11 o'clock Eastern time. I'll give you a quick call tomorrow morning just to catch up, but happy birthday, Grant. All right, so without further ado, let's hop into it. The FLXN trade, nice pop to begin the pre-market, but since you can see on the 5-minute chart, just very choppy sideways movement, a lot of indecision here leading into the open, although it's up, 71% right now. I'll grab the news on this stock. Needless to be said, we're going to put this on our watch list just to begin. Also, quick little side note, because I'll jump back to a couple of the picks that we had from Friday, and this reminds me of a stock from Friday that we ended up trading, much cheaper, at least compared to that stock. So I'll talk about that in a moment, but just for anyone curious, at least here, FLXN, the news out on this stock from today. Looks like the shares are trading higher after another company, Pacira Biosciences, announced it will acquire the company. Another buyout. Are you kidding me? This is a buyout too? So we had a buyout early in pre-market at ADMS. I didn't read the news on that prior to putting it on the pre-market list. We'll get to that also in a moment. I'm going to copy and paste the headline here really quick. Looks like Pacira Biosciences, PCRX, not PTGX, top percent gainer there, but PCRX to acquire FLXN for $8.50 per share in cash, plus one non-tradable contingent value right worth up to $5 per share in cash. Folks, if you're going to ask me what that means, I hate to break it to you, but I have no idea. It's to say this, though. Normally, buyouts do not move, and it's for that reason as to why I'm pretty surprised as to seeing this stock make such a big move, at least in pre-market. Now, I could say to a good degree that it's not shocking me as to why it's like very flat so far, at least, after 8 a.m. Eastern time, 8:30 Eastern time. The reason I like this stock, though, and it reminds me back from Friday, a stock that we traded and we did really well on, CCXI, and I was going to get to this anyway. So CCXI was a stock on Friday that we traded in pre-market. It was up like 75%, 80%. Well, it was shortable. Granted, the stock ended up taking off heading into the late morning, the early afternoon, but this was a hell of a short trade, at least from Friday morning after the market opened up. I'm not going to scroll back on the minute chart. You could see it to a good degree on the 5-minute there on the far left, but you had a gap up in pre-market. This is one of the better stocks that we ended up calling out and trading back at the end of last week on Friday. So again, it dropped off after the open, got crushed from 37 all the way down at 29 plus. So from there, of course, ended up building back up. And man, this made, such a great trade for us heading into the end of Friday, heading into the end of last week. You don't normally expect for there to be as clean of a run heading into a weekend, heading into the end of the week like a Friday here. But man, ended up treating us very nicely, at least at the close, the CCXI stock. We'll get to this move perhaps at least from what we see in pre-market in just a moment. But right back to FLXN. This stock is shortable. So it's not hard to borrow. It's up 70+%. I was pretty excited to put it on our watch list, like for that reason, as much as, potentially seeing it pop and break out. But now at this point, the buyout news is like throwing me off. So I'm going to put it on our list. I hope that this makes for a volatile move for us to capitalize on either way, up or down. But a little reluctant at first. So I have this chart all lined up, prepped up here. I did that before I started the morning meeting, but it's to say I'm going to just kind of be patient on it. That's all. All right, so the other stock that we ended up putting on the pre-market watch list, we had a few, but the other one that was more of a buyout. So this one, unfortunately, shows the true signs of a buyout here. So this ADMS made the gap up I mean, this I practically consider a gap. It's to say that complete flatline since. This stock was also shortable in pre-market like the FLXN, but I didn't really look at the news on this stock prior to putting the list out. This is a buyout. Looks like Supernus Pharmaceuticals announced it will acquire the company for $8.10 per share in cash. So, it's there right now. It's there. It's $7.94, maybe a few pennies away. Much more often than not, buyouts do not move. So I'll tell you, I mean, this morning, until I saw the news, I was really excited to trade the ADMS, but definitely now at this point, I'm not going to put it on our main list. Buyouts just don't move really. So, the FLXN, I'll put on our list, just given it had a sharper pop, but I'm still a little reluctant on it. And what we'll do now is go from top to bottom. We had a couple of other movers that we had from Friday. We'll comment on them as we go from top to bottom. The VYGR, the Clove stock, if we have a chance to get to it in time. But the PTGX to begin. So I had the news on this stock from Benzinga Pro prior to the meeting beginning here. PTGX trading higher after the company announced the removal of the FDA clinical hold on its Rust. I'm not going to pronounce it. Listen, folks. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a drug expert here, but it's to say the FDA ended up pulling removal of clinical hold on their drug. So great news. It sounds like the stock's obviously up near 100%, 92+% and counting. This also reminds me of CCXI back from Friday, except that this stock is not shortable. Nonetheless, this stock is making a higher low, pushing back up perhaps towards 36. So I'll put this on our watch list, but again, though, this stock is very volatile. I mean, not only is it more expensive, but this stock's going to have a really thin order book upon the market opening up. It already has one, but, I know most of us are not trading this here so far in pre-market, at least, most of us inside the trading room. So even after the open, I would expect this stock to have a 10, 15 cent spread. That's all. Also, just really quick, I noticed the gap. So there's a big gap on the daily chart from this stock back from mid-September. We love gap fills, but this stock made such a big gap up in pre-market that did a pretty good job at filling the gap to a good degree. It might make a new gap fill on the way down. So I'll put this on our list, and we'll see. Maybe trade this on maybe 100 shares, 200 shares, if anything. All right, so the TRVI stock, I was reluctant on putting this on our list in pre-market because it was just too flat, too dead in pre-market, like prior to 8 a.m., and it was trending down. But hey, I'm still pretty interested in it upon the market opening up. So nice move up here from 150, squeezing up to a high of 162 and counting. So TRVI, definitely will put this on our list for the meantime here. Nice cheap stock, great liquidity, very tight spreads. I love all of those things. Hey, listen, I'm going to say this to all of us inside Cyber Group here, and really more so intended for any of our students that are new traders joining us here, or students that find themselves to be more of level 1 to 2 students. Hey, I'm going to be interested in this stock, folks. So, just because I label this as a level 1 or 2 stock and it has great liquidity, I'm in love with this trade right now. So I'm going to be more jumpy myself to this stock, and hey, trade PTGX, CCXI, whatever. But this seems like it could have pretty good opportunity. All right, so we'll check in with this certainly by the time the market opens up, as well as the EZFL stock. Unfortunately, this thing dumped back down here, but ended up making a really nice move for us in pre-market. This stock I didn't really put on the watch list, so to say, but we called it out after 8 o'clock. Ended up making the squeeze up to resistance off of 4. I mean, it broke it pretty quickly and moved up towards just about 440. For right now, I would anticipate a support level on this trade right around 383. And then 390 I had as a pretty strong historical level from the daily and weekly charts on this stock. So that could be something to watch. Yeah, the EZFL I'll put on our main list here too. Got a lot of call outs here in the chat board. TRVI, Cold, Mara. We'll get to all those in a moment, folks. All right. I got one that's climbing up the list, though, and I was going to get to this. I'm surprised nobody caught this themselves. NAOV. I saw this pop up on my Benzinga Pro as I was reviewing the PTGX. So the stock ended up making a nice big pop over the last couple of minutes. I will just jump to the news out of curiosity right now. I mean, I don't need to know the news in order to put this on our watch list or not, but curious. So NAOV, it's a stock that we are pretty familiar with too. Company ended up announcing results from an independent double-blind trial of Pain Shield. I can pronounce that name. Pain Shield, I don't really know what that is. So it's to say at least nice big pop so far. It doesn't mean that it can't dump back down. So just be careful, but definitely a great stock that we'll put on our list so far. Looks like there's a 10,000, 11,000 share iceberg order on the bid at 180. First water break of the meeting. I'm proud of myself there. All right, we'll keep it going here, folks. See what else we got. MCF, kind of just skimming through now. So this is one of the stocks that was just chatted inside the live trading room, and not even to say stocks. This is not a stock, Christopher. This is an ETF. So this is where I'll say, unless if you personally as a trader, and I'm not just speaking to Christopher, but all 100 of us live inside the room right now, if you are very skilled at trading ETFs, if you have been day trading ETFs, and if you're doing it with good success, like I'd said, then you personally should be a lot more focused on this heading into the open. This is an inverse gas ETF. Listen, it's very active so far in pre-market. It moved up very steadily at first. Right now, it has a tight spread, but it's going to be much harder and much more difficult to actually apply our strategy of reading level 3 and trying to find the iceberg orders for a ticker like this, an ETF. So again, if you are already someone that does pretty well trading ETFs, hey, you know who you are. That's all. If not, then I'd rather be trading the NAOV, the EZFL, the TRVI at first. Or maybe BTBT. BTBT trying to inch up right now. It's now up over 5%, barely. Listen, it's trading a lot of volume also in pre-market, and it's a stock that we've had on our side list for quite some time and on our main watch list at points too. Right now, I'm not as keen to put this on our list yet. If we get another push on this, perhaps I'll reconsider. It's a side list stock. So, just keep a good eye on Bitcoin with this. And again, I'll say the same with this as I'd said actually on the cold ETF. Unless if we put this on our main watch list, if you are already someone that does pretty well on it, then I'm sure that you'd be one that would be more inclined to focus on it. But if you're not someone that does pretty well on this stock day to day or week to week, more so than not, then I'd rather follow the others first. All right, folks, we'll hop over to the losers list, see what's on that side of the field. Wow. I'll tell you what, I don't know if my losers list is broken or what. I mean, really, I would normally find stocks down a lot more than 15+% here, the LCIDW, and that's a warrant, not even an equity. Geez, wow, that is all I got there. All right, so I mean, the market was bouncing back up a slight bit, but it wasn't as if there was like a major gap up overnight. The HLYN was one that I was kind of interested in pre-market earlier, but it's just super flat right now. I mean, hey, it's shortable and down off of likely bad news. I'm not going to check, but it could be one to watch after the open, but I'll pass on it. That's trading no volume. All right, Southwest. Now, Southwest, I think, could be an interesting stock to watch heading into the market open. The news out on this is the fact that they ended up canceling like thousands and thousands of flights over the weekend. There's a little skepticism as far as why they actually did that. That's not this is not the chat board to have that discussion, folks. But it's to say that this could be a pretty interesting short trade heading into the open. So LVS. Or LUV, I'm sorry, my dyslexia getting ahead of me there. LUV, I'll put on our main watch list. LVS, I was thinking Las Vegas Sands. All right, so we'll see what this could do, at least, in particular. All right, I think that's just about it, folks, unless if there's anything else up, down, left, right that is making a move as I was just going from top to bottom across the gainers and losers. Let me know. Norman saying A and Y worth watching. Nah, not really. I don't know. Just like a sideless stock. Call them as I see them, folks. Going once, going twice. Got a bagel on YouTube. Got 20 of us joining on YouTube today, which means I think that the audio is finally fixed. Again, my apologies if you were joining me on Friday afternoon. But I think that we're just about good to go, folks. Let me know. Last call here. Checking my Benzinga Pro signals feed as I'm asking, so I don't really see much myself. Maybe jump back to BTBT. Nah. Maybe I call this out after the open, but for right now, it's not really looking that That's strong, at least for right now. All right, folks, so I think that we're going to call it. In total, we got 2, 4, 6 stocks in total to work with heading into the market open. I like that. I mean, I usually tend to put more stocks than Fausto on our lists because oftentimes I kind of see more opportunity in a couple of other trades, whereas he does just a much better job than me from experience at just keeping it simple, right? So I like this. I think I did a pretty good job at doing just that. If you're joining us on social media today, Facebook Live, YouTube, again, I believe that all of our complications from Friday afternoon are over. So we should be good to go from this point forward. If you have any questions, feel more than free to send over a quick question right to my email address. I'm going to type it here in the chat board, especially if you're unfamiliar with myself. My name is Josh Levitan. I'm subbing in for Fausto today in the morning meeting. I typically host the afternoon meeting here at CTU. So if you have any questions, feel more than free to send over a quick email to my email address, josh@ctutrading.com. Or if you're ready to join us live inside our live trading room, feel more than free to do so by going right down to the link on the banner below. And you could join in time by 9:30 to hear us continue for the audio commentary there. For all of us there right now, Bill, Norman, Dan, John, Grant, happy birthday again, sir, Charles, Christopher, and all of us otherwise, I look forward to speaking to you folks coming up pretty shortly here. Take care.